Bill O'Reilly here, Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. New York Governor Cuomo discouraging visitors from nearly 24 states. California reimposes the shutdown. Top editor quits at the New York Times over, quote, constant bullying. Americans buy guns in record numbers. Philadelphia bans sports fans. Also ahead, the radicals want your private property. But first, Governor Cuomo extending his mandatory quarantine for visitors from 22 states. The emergency order requiring travelers from places like Florida, Ohio, New Mexico, and Wisconsin to self-isolate for 14 days upon arrival in the state of New York. Guests will be forced to submit info about where they're staying before they are allowed to leave the airports. Violators could face $2,000 fines, but knowing the New York justice system, I doubt it. Governor Newsom bringing back the lockdown for 80% of California. Authorities closing bars, gyms, salons, other businesses to slow the spread of COVID. Los Angeles, now one of the worst hotspots in the country. The state reporting 8,300 new cases each day. Barry Weiss, an opinion editor for the New York Times, resigning her position, saying the newspaper created a, quote, hostile work environment for anyone who isn't far left. Apparently, some co-workers labeled her a Nazi and a racist for her commentary. Writes Ms. Weiss, quote, Twitter is not on the masthead of the New York Times, but Twitter has become its ultimate editor. Sales of firearms in the USA breaking records. The FBI processing more than 7.8 million background checks between March and June. First-time buyers cite the pandemic, protests, and efforts to defund the police as their main motivation. 40% of American households now have at least one gun. The raucous sports fans in Philadelphia got some bad news. The city banning gatherings of more than 50 until next year. The Phillies and Eagles will still play, but in front of no one. In a moment, your property. The radical left wants to take it. Right back with that. As you may know, more than 44 million Americans have lost their jobs. The Fed just warned the recession may get worse. So I recommend you consider gold and silver. And the only company I recommend is American Hartford Gold Group. I trust them. I've done business with them. I recommend them. They sell physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside your IRA. And they make it easy. So please call them right now. And make sure you tell them that Bill sent you. And they will give you, ready? $1,500 of free silver on your first order. Since I've been recommending American Hartford Gold Group, gold is up more than 30%. So don't wait. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Marxists in America, and we're not talking Groucho, Chico, or Harpo here. As we have reported, the Black Lives Matter Global Foundation, that's the central agency, is run by three women who openly say they are Marxists. Most Americans don't know that, but it's true. Now, Marxist people believe a central government has a right to confiscate all private property. That's what happened in the Soviet Union, in Cuba, and other communist nations. But here in the USA, we have the Fifth Amendment, which says, quote, no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. And then there's the 14th Amendment, which says, quote, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Property again. But the Marx people believe this by Karl Marx, quote, private property is the final and most complete expression of the system of producing and appropriating products that is based on class antagonisms, on the exploitation of the many by the few. In this sense, says Karl Marx, the theory of the communist may be summed up in a single sentence: abolition of private property. So in order to impose that abolition, you would have to do away with the United States Constitution, which is exactly what the Marxists in this country want. Listen to self-proclaimed socialist Senator Bernie Sanders, quote, in order to reduce the outrageous level of inequality that exists in America today and to rebuild the disappearing middle class, we must establish an annual tax on extreme wealth. Under this plan, the wealth of billionaires would be cut in half over 15 years, which would substantially break up the concentration of wealth and power in this small, privileged class, unquote Bernie Sanders. But in order to do that, impose a wealth tax, the federal government would have to seize private property, assets that have already been taxed. So let's cut the bull. Bernie Sanders is a Marxist. He does not believe in private property. He believes the government has a right to take it. So does the Black Lives Matter Global Foundation crew. Americans need to wake up and smell the totalitarianism. The corrupt American media will not tell you the truth, but I will. The radical left is gunning for the Constitution and your property. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. For more news analysis, please visit BillO'Reilly.com and join our Stand Up for Your Country campaign. In a moment, something you might not know. The average ScoreMaster user raises their credit score 61 points in 20 days or less. ScoreMaster, the new credit science tool that super boosts your credit score faster and easier than anything else. Created by data scientists, ScoreMaster puts you in control of your credit score, empowering you to get more credit score points fast. In just minutes, you receive a personalized plan to achieve a better credit score. And we all know what that means: better deals that ultimately save you a lot of money. Financial independence starts with knowledge and getting your best credit score. That's what you get with ScoreMaster.com. You should have the power, not the banks. And getting your best credit score gives you that power. Enroll in minutes. See how many plus points you can add to your credit score. Please visit ScoreMaster.com/Bill. ScoreMaster.com/Bill. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. It is finally tax day in America. This year, the Trump administration delayed the usual April 15th deadline to help Americans affected by the pandemic. The country's contentious relationship with taxation goes all the way back to our beginning. After the Revolutionary War, the Constitution gave the federal government the power to take money from the general public. Most of that came from sales taxes on things like tobacco and alcohol. The USA imposed its first income tax following the Civil War. But here's something really interesting. It was not implemented nationwide until the Revenue Act of 1913, more than 120 years after the federal government began functioning. Last year, the feds raised $3.5 trillion, mostly from corporations and workers, Americans also pay taxes on a variety of other things. In fact, if you live in some blue states, the feds are coming after you for more than half your money. New Yorkers pay the most between property, income, federal, sales, and other taxes. New York residents give up nearly 55% of their money to the government. California right behind, where the locals fork over 50% to the tax man. The West Coast has the country's highest fees on wireless phones. Tax bills are up 33% since the introduction of the iPhone back in 2007. The average Californian forks over $300 in cell taxes each year. States like Connecticut and Hawaii have 26 different taxes just to watch TV. A federal line tax, local number portability tax, even a penalty to rent your remote control to somebody else. So if you're looking to keep most of your money, you should head north to Alaska. Residents there pay nothing on personal income to the state, zero on sales, and the lowest property fees in the country. But again, it's might chilly up in Alaska. And here's something else you might not know. Despite the high taxes, on average, Americans pay less than other industrialized nations. Folks in Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and Belgium now can hand over 70% to the government. Happy tax day. Back after this. Take the Omega XL 30-day test and put pain to rest. Bill O'Reilly here. You know that pain and stiffness in your back, neck, knees, or hips that never gets better? Tackle the root cause of your pain, inflammation. It's like a raging fire in your body. If you don't put it out, it can cause serious problems. That's why I take Omega XL, powerful natural supplement shown in 30 years of research to relieve joint and muscle pain caused by inflammation. Omega XL is a unique oil extract from green-lipped mussels from the pristine waters of New Zealand. It is safe, small, easy to swallow. So take the Omega XL 30-day test and put pain to rest. To get my special discount, please visit omegaxl.com/bill. Omega, the letters XL.com/bill. omegaxl.com/bill. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.